Thanks very much, Sam. After I agreed to speak this evening, he said there was a 7-minute time limit. And I said, hey, look, I'm a former Supreme Court judge, and nobody sets any limits on me. And so I guess it's called a fall from grace. So here I am, stuck with a 7-minute time limit. You'll be pleased to know that I don't have a prepared text as such. When I was the Attorney General, they used to have these messagings for me. The speechwriters would have this stuff, and so I was their worst nightmare, and I never ever referred to them, so I don't intend to do any of that this evening. So I'm going to speak to you a bit about the community court, which was established in 2008. A community court is a proactive court that deals with the root causes of crime, as opposed to a conventional courtroom that deals with the consequences of crime. In 2005, after I was appointed Attorney General, a report landed on my desk, and I wasn't surprised at the contents of that report, which stated that well over 80% of the crime that's committed in Vancouver is street crime. That is, house break-ins, car break-ins, car thefts, thefts from autos, thefts from stores. And of that property crime, the over 80%, around 20% is committed by the same offenders. So we have the chronic offender syndrome. And for those people who commit those crimes, the vast majority are either addicted to alcohol, drugs, they're mentally ill, or they're homeless, or a combination of all four. So the historic solution of the criminal justice system is to recycle these people through the system. So we have the perpetual revolving door that historically has characterized our criminal justice system. So what we did was we looked to see what New York City did. They had a drastic drop in their property crime rate after they established a community court. We went to New York, we looked at their model, and it makes a lot of sense. And what the community court does, it gets the professionals together and they assess people. So immediately upon arrest of an offender, the offender is assessed to determine whether or not he or she can be rehabilitated. So we have doctors, we have nurses, we have psychologists and therapists and employment counselors right next door to the courtroom. And most people are amenable and are good candidates for transition and for rehabilitation. It's worked very well in 27 different cities in the US, where property crime has significantly dropped after they started to treat the offenders as opposed to simply incarcerating them. So in 2008, the fall of 2008, we in Vancouver in the downtown east side established the first community court in Canada. And I'm very optimistic that this is the right way to go. See, as it stands now, we incarcerate people around the third highest rate in the world. And while there are many people who need to be jailed, those people who are dangerous to the public, they have to be incarcerated. Many people are sent into jails who don't have to be incarcerated, who are mentally ill, who suffer from various addictions. So the positive way to go in order to make our civil society better, in our view, is to have a system wherein we can rehabilitate people so that they can become productive citizens. You know, the United States incarcerates more people than any other nation in the Western world, and they have the highest crime rate of any nation in the Western world. We're not that far behind. So what we have to do is we have to become creative and to treat those people so they do not become chronic offenders and so they do not cause more victimization. And so far, since 2008, the experiment, the pilot project, has worked very well. It's worked so well, there are other cities and other centers in the province who are asking for a similar type of a community court so that we can start getting progressive and getting positive about our crime and our street safety conditions. So what we have to do is we have to look to see where we're going in the criminal justice system. Do we want to do what they've done in California? I was on a panel discussion recently with Jerry Brown when he was the Attorney General, and I was the attorney here, and he's now the governor. And he said, don't do what we did. We are spending in California now more money on jails than we are in post-secondary education. So that's the solution we have. That's the outcome we have if we open up more jails and send more people to jail who shouldn't be there. And I'm talking now about people who are not dangerous and those people who can be rehabilitated. I'm not minimizing the effects of violent crime. I'm involved in that commission of inquiry now where we're dealing with violent crime, and the impact of violent crime and victimization can never ever be underestimated. So what we need to do is we have to treat those people who can be treated, and at the same time we have to incarcerate those people in order to make our streets safer. But it's important to remember that jails work for some people, but any progressive social democracy will have as part of its makeup a compassionate society that will deal with those people, will treat those people, people who are mentally ill, people who need treatment, people who are addicted, people who are poor, the undertrodden, and we have to be compassionate. We have the best nation in the world. Her Excellency said that this evening. And we have to work together in order to make our streets safer and to stop victimization. Thank you very much for inviting me here this evening.